You read that right. I got hung up on yesterday. And I'm actually not upset about it. Excuse the mess in the background. This is morning time. Life is crazy. Mamas, you get it. So anyway, I wanted to tell you about this because quite an interesting story. Basically, I said something she wasn't ready to hear. That's what happened. What wasn't she ready to hear? She wasn't ready to hear that she needed to give up something very precious that she puts in her coffee. Can you guess what it was? Creamer. She didn't want to give up dairy in her creamer. And there were a few other things. So here's kind of what happens with me, you guys. And I thought, at the time, it definitely threw me for a loop where I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I just got hung up on. Did I piss her off that badly? Well, okay, yes, I did. And it happens. With what I do, it happens. I mean, it's kind of one of those things where if you hear what you don't want to hear, even if it's the truth, even if it's reality, you have a reaction. You have one of two reactions. You can get pissed off, which is exactly what she did. Or you can cry. Or as many of the clients that I've actually worked with will do, it clicks. It makes sense. I won't be the last person to tell her what I said. I'll tell you about it in just a second. But I wasn't the person she was meant to work with. That's for sure. The first conversation I had with her, great. Perfect. We gelled. Things went well. No problem. Sent her off in my usual, here's a couple of different things I want you to try over the next couple of days. Let's chat on Monday. See how it went. And this was the conversation yesterday. This was the one that I got hung up on. And I do feel for the people that I talk to who aren't quite ready to hear the message, and perhaps I was the first person to tell her this. I don't know. Effectively, what happened is that she was talking to me about some things she's dealing with, health-wise, right? And a lot of you guys get it. When you have dairy and gluten and soy that you're eating, you're like, okay, I know this thing, even if it's not one of those three things. I know this one thing. For her, it was dairy. If she eats dairy, it causes her to gain weight. It causes her to bloat. It makes her feel sick for days, right? But she wouldn't give up what she was putting in her coffee. And trying the other things, so the oat milks, almond milks, cashew, all the other things on the market, the alternatives, didn't work for her because she was sensitive to them. No problem. That means you have to get very creative. You get very specific, right? And you have to find a thing. Like, if this is your thing, okay, but if it's making you sick, we got to find another way to do this. Like, there's no that's not negotiable. And if something is making you sick every time you have it, you're complaining that you want to lose weight, which was one of her complaints. Your gut's messed up. Your body's messed up. You don't know why. You're not getting any answers and you're not getting any solutions, but you're doing at least one thing that is continuing to make you sick because you've already said, this bloats me, this causes me to gain weight. And more importantly than that, the thing I focus on is it makes you sick. You're able to do just a little bit in your coffee without making it too bad. Not too bad is not good enough. That's not good enough, you guys. It's not. And one of the things that a lot of people don't realize, and maybe she doesn't realize this either, I don't know, I seriously could have been the first person to tell her that, hey, I know you've got all these different things going on, but if you want to keep this one thing, we got to work it out, because it's either your body is in such a state of dysfunction that is not able to digest and metabolize what you're eating. It's not able to digest and metabolize the dairy, or you really are sensitive to it. And it's a very rare case that you're extremely sensitive to dairy. It actually is. But that doesn't mean that you can still have it whenever you want. Like, as you're healing your gut, as you're healing your body, you are going to need to take things out temporarily. But that's not how I work. And one of the other things that really frustrated her was that I wouldn't tell her step by step by step what we were going to do together. And truth be told, I don't know that answer. I have a roadmap that we follow. It is a guide. We follow it. Some people, we stay in discovery mode. We stay in this reset mode for a while. I have had people stay in reset for 6 weeks trying to figure out just exactly what's going to get them on this road. Because every time we get on the healing road, something happens and they get derailed, right? Not anything other than like, hey, we took this thing out and then now we put it back in and, oh, look, we're back on this road. But when you combine this and this, I don't have that reaction. So there's a lot of complexities within that first 4 to 6 weeks. And while I can map out that first 4 to 6 weeks, your journey beyond that, it's very unique. It's very you. And I can't tell you what that looks like yet. All I can tell you is that there are steps and strategies, and there's enough of them in this world that guiding you through this process, for me, is very intuitive. And with her, what would have happened is we would have butted heads for a very long time, and it wouldn't have been very helpful for her. So that's part of the reason, with like the food and the symptom log, that's part of the reason I asked for that, is because if you are in a place of healing your body, if you're in a place of frustration with your health and your wellness, and you're actually willing to either send me a picture of your poop or send me a Bristol stool scale, tell me how you're feeling throughout the day, tell me what symptoms that you're dealing with, whether you and I work together or not, that information is crucial to you taking the next step to healing. And I don't need to know what's wrong with you. That's not my job. I don't diagnose anything. That I am not that person. That's not what I do. What I do is look at your symptoms and align them with what typically a body is trying to say. And we look at all the different reasons why your body would say something. So let's take sugar craving, for instance. So you've got sugar cravings up the wazoo, right? Let's just say that's what's happening. But you don't know why, and you feel like you're eating, enough food, and you feel like you're eating everything the right way, but you're still having these horrible sugar cravings, and they're not going away. Okay, there's a couple of different reasons for that. Bottom line, you're not getting something that your body and your brain feels like it needs. Your brain keeps telling your gut, that pathway, the gut-brain pathway, communication, right? First brain, second brain. Got it? Your body is telling you that it's missing something. And our job together is going to be figuring out what that something is. Using that food and symptom log actually helps us start figuring out where the little loopholes are. Where are your missing puzzle pieces? We start with you and I having a conversation, a short little strategy. I mean, everybody else calls it a strategy session. Might as well call it the same thing, right? We call it a spark conversation because it usually sparks people to take at least one step toward healing their body. Whether they come back or they don't, they take that step. And whether I get somebody who does their food log, their food symptom log, and they come back or they don't, The ones that don't, the ones that send me messages and say, you know what, I think I figured it out. I'm good, which happens more often than not, you guys. Don't discount that. It happens a lot. They take that food and symptom log because your brain can't lie to you when it's in black and white. Bottom line. So I'm happy to have conversations. I love having conversations. I'm even okay with her hanging up on me yesterday. You know why? Because her emotions and her brain have to process what I said. I was telling her the things she didn't want to hear. And I was telling her the things that her subconscious probably already knows, but doesn't want to go there yet. So it happens. Welcome to wellness, right? It is what it is. And you know, you guys, you all can do the same thing. You can do a food and symptom log. You can look at it yourself. You don't have to talk to me for that. I would love to talk to you just because I like to geek out on this stuff. But you don't have to talk to anybody. You can do your own food symptom log. Be ready for what it tells you. Because it won't all be sunshine, roses, and sunflowers. It's just not going to be like that. If you're struggling with things, if things are out of balance, if you're feeling very sensitive to everything in the world, or at least the bulk of what you do, what you eat, then chances are there's something happening that you're not able to see. If you've gone through a multitude of doctors, testing, things like that, it's time to put the work in to do those logs. And if you've done them in the past and haven't seen anything, send them to me. I'll look at them. I don't have a problem with that. I hate logs, you guys, for the record. Me personally, I hate logs. I can't stand doing them. But I use them every time I hit a stopping point. When I hit a point where I know something's up, I can't quite figure it out, right? Can't quite put my finger on it, but I know something's up. I will start a food log. I will put my symptoms in there. I put my emotions in there. I put all the side effects I'm feeling in there, stuffy noses, runny eyes, my ears are ringing, anything. I put it in there. Because at the end of the week, when I put it away and I come back to it 48 hours, highly recommend, I'm actually able to see the things that I couldn't see while I was doing the food log. The things that led me to start a log. I couldn't see it. And neither can you. And if you can, you're very in touch with your body and you're very in tune and you're very connected. And there's a fabulous thing. But for the majority of us, that's not the case. So, the chick that I got hung up on, or that hung up on me yesterday, not on my Facebook, not on my socials anywhere. I'm okay with it because at this point she probably would block my butt. That's how upset she was. And I don't blame her. It's tough. It is so tough when you're going from such a sensitive, dysfunctional place in your body and you're just tired of giving stuff up and you don't want to, and you just want someone to say, this is step 1, this is step 2, this is step 3, this is step 4. I can get you to step 3 and tell you exactly what those steps are going to be. Step 4 and beyond depends on what happens in step 1, 2, and 3. We can gloss over it. I can tell you exactly what the process is, but your body gets to dictate how that goes. We might be doing step 7 and step 4. There's a switch around. There's things that fluctuate. That's why everything that I do is so customized, because I found that trying to use that cookie cutter approach that so many of us look for doesn't work. I mean, it works if you know what you're looking for. It works if you understand exactly what has to happen. Totally works. But if you're in a state where you're in so much dysfunction that things aren't working right, that you're extremely sensitive to everything, that you know your gut's messed up, you know you're experiencing all these symptoms, brain fog, headaches, like all the other things, the dry mouth, runny nose, all of it, right? You know you're experiencing these things. You don't know where they're coming from. You don't know how to stop it. And you don't know what your next step is. This is what you do. You take a very slow, determined approach. You start with something in writing. And from there, you start investigating. Those first 3 weeks are all about investigating. And then on week 3, you and I sit down and we look at what that next step is. Because that investigation over the first 3 weeks, the things that we work on to help you start feeling better so quickly, those are all indicators. Those are all signs. Those are all things that your body is talking to us about, okay? So when you get to week 3, we can look at the rest of the program and we can map it out. But until we get there, you can't map out such a very specific strategic program on 2 conversations. We can map an outline. We can map the road, which is there for you. But to know exactly what you're going to do week by week by week, it's impossible in 2 conversations. So I am okay with her hanging up on me. I am hoping that the messages and the conversation that we had, that she actually heard some of it, so that eventually she can process, she can digest, and she can start healing. Because I love my coffee, y'all, but if the stuff I put in it ever started to make me sick, like I get sick when I eat dairy, it would be out so fast. It's not even funny. Because been there, done that, not doing that shit again. Not going back there. I threw my own little temper tantrum for a year. Lesson learned. Got it. Peace to that, right? So we're going to take a nice deep breath, finish up some breakfast, and yeah, cheers. Have a wonderful Tuesday. And yeah, if you're feeling anything that I talked about today, I know I was kind of rambling a little bit, but had some thoughts and definitely wanted to get it out of my head. Let's chat. Short, quick chat. Feel free to send me your logs if you've already done it. I'll look at them. I'll tell you what I see. Happy to do it. Beyond that, cheers. Have a great day, you guys.